Hi everybody, Eric Warnicki here, and I'm just here in my office today, hanging out. I got my new lap steel guitar here that I was just playing around with, and I picked up my phone a second ago, and I got a LinkedIn message, and I thought it was a little bit interesting, so I decided to make a video about it. Somebody asked me, Eric, what's the worst thing that I can do as far as SEO is concerned to my website? So a lot of times you hear people talking about SEO advice, and so this is a little bit of SEO anti advice. I want to take a quick second and thank the sponsor of this video, which is myself and my company, secmarketing.group. If you guys need any help with anything SEO or website development related, go on there and send me a message. SEO, what can you do to hurt your SEO? Well, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about this is nothing. Just doing nothing is a very terrible thing that you can do as far as SEO is concerned. So even if you were to launch a perfect website, but if you're not maintaining it and updating it and adding blogs and things like that, making sure that the site is free of errors and things like that, your website is probably not going to do very well. It would be very unlikely that you would succeed in a scenario like that. And so doing nothing and having a stagnant website, of course, is very bad. The next thing that I can think of is not thinking about mobile, not thinking about the user experience on mobile devices. So most of the time, people, I think 50, 60, or maybe even 2/3 of traffic now to sites are coming from mobile devices, and tablets and desktops are decreasing as time goes on. And so Google, many years ago, started indexing websites mobile first. In other words, looking at the mobile version of your site and how it looks and the content that's on that version. And a lot of times they won't even look at the desktop version of your site. And so definitely having a good mobile experience is important for SEO, and not having a good mobile experience would be very bad. A lot of websites, that were made in the 90s and early 2000s, and even up into the mid 2010s. A lot of times they would be made with HTML tables. They would be very designed. You might even see at the bottom of old websites, this website is best, at 1028 by 768 screen sizes, or whatever it might be. They would recommend a screen size and recommend a browser so that people would have the best experience on the site, because the technology at the time, like CSS media queries, just didn't exist in the early 1.0 web days. It was very difficult to be able to make a mobile version, before mobile devices really caught on, which is around 2005, 6, 7, 8 is where cell phones started taking off, especially with the launch of the iPhone. And so not having a good mobile experience on your site is going to be a recipe for a bad time, of course. Another thing that comes to mind is low quality updates. So right now, with the proliferation of AI tools, it's very easy to just go into whatever AI tool that you prefer and say, write me a blog about such and such a topic, make it at least 1,000 words long, and make sure it ranks well for SEO. And you can spit that out, and it will give you some sort of thing that you can copy and paste into your website. And doing this blindly, I think, is a very bad idea and very bad for your SEO, because I think I saw a study from Ahrefs not too long ago that said something like 95 to 98% of all content now is either written fully or with the assistance of AI. And so you don't want to be exactly like everybody who's just putting the least amount of effort into their content. Putting some time into either writing an article completely by hand or taking a first draft from an AI and then fact checking it, modifying it heavily, making sure that it represents your own voice, and doesn't contain M dashes and these sort of, it's not X but it's Y, these cliches of AI writing. So going beyond just the standard output for your content to putting a lot of time and thought into your content is a good idea, and not doing that is a bad idea, of course. Another thing that I would say is a bad idea is not focusing on your local SEO. So if you're a service-based business that goes out to people's houses, or even a brick and mortar business, and you don't have a Google business profile, or you're not on Apple Maps, your address is wrong, your phone number is wrong, your hours are wrong, your website is wrong, you've got old logos and stuff like that, outdated information, all that's definitely going to hurt you. And so focusing on your Google business profile is a good idea. Not focusing on that is a bad idea. And then another thing I think a lot of people, do wrong as far as SEO is concerned is just trusting that everything is okay, not looking at the data. So not setting up Google Search Console, not setting up Google Analytics, not setting up some other kind of tracking system, not looking at the data, not seeing what keywords are bringing people to your site, not seeing if traffic is declining or going up. You know what I mean? Not checking to see what kinds of things that your audience is interested in, and writing about that and becoming an opinion maker, or somebody that has something to say about that when people are searching for that topic. All of that is a mistake. Just trusting that everything is okay and that your plan, without any sort of data is fine, is a terrible idea as well. And so I would say not having any data, not having any awareness of what you're doing, of what's working and what's not working, what your competition is doing, what's currently ranking well on Google right now, not paying attention to all those things is a great way also to rank horribly on Google. And I've just got one final thing that you can do to absolutely guarantee that your SEO will tank. And that is buying paid links. So what do I mean by that? So let's say that you go on LinkedIn, and everybody that goes on LinkedIn has solicitations that come into your email. Or let's say that you search them out and you search Google, for buy backlinks or something like that, right? You might pay somewhere between, $10 US all the way up to $1,000 US for one single link. That's how big the range is on these things. And it might be a good link, it might be a bad link. That, of course, that's totally subjective. But Google has said in their terms of service that buying links from other people, in other words, going to a webmaster and saying, hey, if I give you $100, will you put a link on your website pointing back to my website? That kind of activity is forbidden. They don't allow it. It's explicitly against their rules. And so if they catch you doing that, which they can and they will, it can result in you getting removed from Google, or having your visibility severely diminished. What they call a manual action, or a penalty can occur for these unnatural links if they detect them. And so buying links is a terrible, terrible idea, and something that you should definitely avoid. It might work in the short term. You might see rankings or traffic increase from buying links, but 6 months later, or a year later, or even sooner than that, maybe longer than that, they will catch up with you and it will tank you. You should probably Google the Expedia.com SEO collapse of many years ago. That might have even been 2013 when that happened. But this has been ongoing for a long time. Google crusading against low quality content and against buying links. And so those are all things that you can do to guarantee that your SEO will go badly. So yeah, just a couple disclaimers here about this. If anything sounds like it's too good to be true, it is. If somebody says that they can rank you number one, they're lying. That's another thing that Google says, is that nobody can promise rankings. But of course you can do things that are correlated with stronger rankings, such as writing good content, such as identifying who the leadership of a company is and why they're experts in their field, such as writing content that's of high quality about things that your audience is interested, such as making sure that the user experience on cell phones and on desktops as well is good, and that people can quickly get to the services that they want and quickly be able to find your phone number, your address, a contact form, an email address. All those things are very important for SEO success. And so if you want to guarantee SEO failure, just go ahead and look up what Google recommends and do the opposite. So I hope this video is helpful in helping you tank your website success. If you're interested in doing the opposite of that, I encourage you to reach out to me. Again, this video is sponsored by myself and my company, secmarketing.group. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me, hanging out with my new steel guitar. We're just going to play a little riff. There we go. Alright guys, I'll talk to you later. See you in the next video.